Hey guys, in this video tutorial we will talk about level manager script. Basically, level manager script will be responsible for loading a new level, and if you want to reload the existing level, and if when the level is loaded and when the level ends, uh, all these things will happen in level manager. Okay, so this is the script that we will set it up, and in the next video we will integrate this script with the player class so that you will know how things are put together, and you will know how the communication happens. Okay, so let's start. We have this level manager class, static level manager instance, and we have this event. So whenever a level is loaded, this event will be triggered, and whenever the level is ended, this event will be triggered. Okay, now we have one more variable called bool level ready. Okay, and this is set to false. And if you see here, there is this method called invoke level loaded event. This method will be called by fade screen. If I put find all reference, you can see from where it is getting called. So in previous video tutorial we saw about the fade screen script, where in the update method we check if the frame weighted is greater than 0 and we wait for 3 frames, and after 3 frames we check the currently loaded scene is equal to 1. So if only one scene is there, then on that case uh, we go for this condition, and we say here invoke level loaded event. So only if only one scene is there, the number of loaded scene is equal to 1, then in that case we are sure that only one scene is there, and we call this method invoke level loaded event. That is from level manager instance I get it, and I call this method, and this calls, once this function is getting called, we say on level loaded event not equal to null. We are checking whether someone have subscribed to this event or not. Okay, if somebody have subscribed, then on level loaded event won't be null, and we are saying invoke, send a message to those guys. And in the next line we say on level loaded event equal to null, because since this is a event, only this class have the right to set this event to null, and we say level ready equal to true. Okay, so that's it, this function is all about. And we have this awake method, where we say at first line cursor dot visible is equal to false. It means when you are in the game mode, you will not be able to see this mouse. See, I am moving the mouse here, right? You will not be able to see the mouse, it will be disabled. And we create an instance, and we are making sure only one instance of the level manager exists, and we have this on destroy method. We check whether the instance, that is level manager instance, and the object that we are going to destroy is same. If that's the case, we call, means we set these values to null, and we say level ready equal to false. So I already explained this line in last video tutorial also, because since only one instance of level manager is going to be there, so this instance, if it is not null, it will check whether the game object of this instance and the incoming game object, whatever is getting destroyed, if this reference, if both of these game objects are same, then on that case we do this in the same, like this in fade screen also we are checking it. So this thing I explained in the last video. So what we do here is we make it null, and we set level ready to false. Now this function basically loads the next scene. So when the user reaches the level end, the next level has to be loaded. So when they can call load next scene, I will explain this. And reload scene is nothing but if the player dies, sometimes you want to reload the entire scene. Okay, it means instead of restarting from checkpoint, you want to restart the whole scene. On that time you can call this method, but all this method will be called from player class, and all those communication we will be doing in future video tutorial. So what we do in load next scene is we check if on loaded event not equal to null, sorry, on level end event not equal to null. If it is not null, it means level has ended, and whoever have subscribed to this event, they will get the message. And you see here lean twin dot cancel all. This will cancel every twin in the scene. So this one method will cancel all the twinning effects in the scene, and we say don't call on complete method. I think I explained you in some previous tutorial about lean twin, about this, where we are discussing about lean twin topic. So then we make lean level ready false, on level loaded null, on level end event equal to null, and we get the component of fade screen, and we say scene loaded equal to false. So how it will work is, let's create empty game object now. Okay, one second. And name it level manager, and add a script level manager. Okay, we will make this hide in inspector. We don't want this variable to be exposed in the inspector, so let it compile and add a fade screen script. Now we have fade screen and level manager. We need to give a texture that we will load it from our actual project. This project is used for teaching purpose only. So from my actual project I will bring the asset, and I think fade screen complete second also we will set it to uh, something like 1. Let that original project loads. Sorry for the delay. Come on. And by the way, okay, let's, anyway it's loaded. So we have this fade screen texture. Bring it here where this is sprite. Instead of keeping in sprite, we will keep inside art folder. We have this, and assign this 2D texture. This texture is used for fade in fade out effect. Okay, so it's just a black texture, that's it. Remaining things lean twin, and in ongoing method we are manipulating the alpha that we saw in last video tutorial. And fade complete screen, make it to 0. There is no use of this. Okay, so now what happens is we attached a level manager script and fade screen script to this game object. And in level manager, when we say get component of fade screen, so it will try to get the fade screen component in this game object, and you will have this reference because you attached the script to this game object, and you say scene loaded equal to false. Okay, and this is int next scene index, so we are saying load the next scene. So scene dot build index, basically what this does is, you have to give your current scene. Okay, so assume you are in the first level. At the end of the first level you are saying load next scene. Okay, so for this the parameter will be the current scene, that is the first level itself, you will give it here. And when it comes here, it will take the first level build index, that will be 0th index, and it will do +1. It says when you say +1, it will give you 1, and that will be your next scene. So for example, if you have one scene, okay, let's add another scene. So this is your scene 1. So you have this build index set to 0, this is set to 1, this is set to 2. So from this scene, when you call this function load next scene, you will pass this scene itself, and this scene index is 0. So when you say scene dot build index, it will return 0, and when we say plus 1, it will return 1, that is vector add. And we check if next scene index is less than or equal to scene manager dot scene count in build settings minus 1. So this will give you the number of scenes in the build settings. So currently we have 3 scenes, so this function will return 3 minus 1 2. So here what we have is 1 less than or equal to 2, yes. So what we do is we are going to load the next scene. If in case if the next scene is going to be 3, on assume for now if the next scene index is 3, and this condition, basically it will return, for our scenario it will return 2, because 3 minus 1 2, and 3 less than or equal to 2, no. So this condition won't be satisfied, and there is no next scene. It means there is no scene to load. It means there is no next level in the game. So that's what this means is, so whenever you say load next scene, it will load linearly. So if you are in zeroth level, sorry, if you are in first level, it will load the second, from second it will go to third, and till the last level these things will happen. It will load till the last level. After last level nothing will be there, so this function it won't do anything. And now we go for reload scene. Reload scene is nothing but, assume if the player is dead, and this is the scene where the player is dead, event test. Now you want to reload this entire scene again, so you can call this method reload scene by passing this event test scene to this parameter. All these things we will do in player class, but I am just telling what this does. Okay, we cancel the lean twin, we say lean twin ready false, get component scene loaded false, and we say load your async scene. So this is the place where the actual scene loads. So what we do is we don't load the scene just like that. That is, it's not like we are going to load the scene once we completely unload the existing scene. It's not like that. We are going to load whatever scene we are going to load, it will be loaded in background. Okay, so that is what this async operation is. There are two ways in which you can tell Unity load the scene. One is without using async. So this way what happens is, when you uh, uh, in this approach the scene will be loaded in background, but instead of this you can do like this also, scene manager dot load scene. You can give like this also, but when we do like this, there will be a sudden pause in the game and it will look bit weird. So most of the time what people do is they will make sure that scene is loading in the background. On that time all the control for the game will be passed and they will show a loading screen. It means at the background some level is getting loaded, so you will not be able to do anything. That is the visual indication that they give to player, and they will put one loading screen. So that's what most game does. Even we are going to do that. If we follow this approach, that is, if we say like this, you will not be able to achieve that effect. Okay, so what we will do is we will just load our scene in the background. So now we are saying whoever calls this function, they start a coroutine. Okay, I think you most of you guys know about coroutine. If you guys don't know, please check out Unity video tutorial. Okay, so here you pass the scene index. Okay, and here what we do is scene manager dot get active scene. For example, you are saying uh, assume you want to reload this scene itself, so you will pass 0th index here, and you will come to this function, and it will say scene manager dot get active scene dot name. This will return event test, and you store that in a string, and we do async operation, async load, and we say scene manager dot load sync async. This means we are saying load the scene in the background, and we are saying which scene you want to load. You are saying I want to load 0th index. In our case this is event test, and you are saying load scene dot additive. So what happens is you are already in event test, and from event test you are calling this method, and you are saying load the event test again. So this event test, the whatever is running, that also will be there, and the new one you are saying one more time here, load scene async. You are saying load this event test again, and you say load additive on top of the existing event test. Load another event test scene and do the loading process you are saying. So what happens is it will load the scene, and it will check whether the scene is loaded fully. Until it is not loaded, it will make it to null. Okay, once the scene is loaded, it means new event test scene will be loaded. It means new event test scene is loaded. And in the next line we say unload scene async current scene. That is, then on this time what you are doing is you are deleting the old event test. So when we do like this, on that time alone you will have two scenes for maybe 2 to 3 frames. So on that time what will happen is, in fade screen class, if you go, in last video tutorial I said scene manager dot scene count. On that time alone, for the 2 frames you will have the scene count value 2. So that's the reason we put this condition. Since we load additive, we give this option additive, on top of the existing scene, a new scene will be loaded. So instead of reloading scene, I am saying next scene index. So I assume you are in event test 0, and you are saying load this first scene, that is vector add scene. So what will happen is it will catch the name of the current scene, that is event test, and it will load the next scene, that is vector addition. But we are saying do additive, meaning load the vector add scene on top of the current scene. Okay, so on those uh, scenario, whenever we execute this, so after this execution happens for 2 to 3 frames, you can see in scene view 2 scenes, that is event test as well as vector addition. On that time, if you query scene manager dot scene count, it will return more than 1. Okay, so that's the reason we say we put this condition. By doing this, we are sure nothing is getting loaded, everything is set, and there is only one scene that exists. Okay, and assume now in this scenario we say load additive, so it will load the first scene, that is vector add, and it will do all the process, and once everything is loaded, we are unloading our current scene, that is event test. So vector addition will be loaded, and whatever scene that we have previously event test, that will be unloaded. So that's what this level manager is all about now. Okay, fine. Now level manager is done. In the next video we will be putting all these pieces together, and we will see how the level is loaded. Once the level is loaded, how this message is getting catched by the player, all those things we will see in the next video. So that's all for this video, guys. I will catch up all of you guys in the future video tutorial. Bye.